Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Heartslayers. You are here with the Heartslayers, Derrick Acosta and
Meg Turner.
Today we're going to be taking calls, answering emails, and solving all of your relationship problems. Right?
I like that, yeah.
Oh, you like that? All of them.
All of them.
So without any further ado, let's get it started. Okay, everybody, we are on the phone here with Kay. Kay, you're speaking to Derrick and Meg, the Heartslayers. What's up?
Nothing much. So I had a situation recently, actually in the past 24 hours that happened, and I think I need some advice on this thing.
All right,
Ooh.
What happened?
Okay, so basically, just a little backstory about me, I suppose, is that I don't know, I have a little bit of a self-destructive tendencies where if I'm in a really good relationship, things are going super well for me, I tend to think oh, it shouldn't, this is too good to be true, there must be a catch here, something's wrong, blah blah blah. But anyway, so I'm in this relationship with this girl that I met back in September of last year, and everything's great, we're taking things slow, everything's just going absolutely wonderfully, it's so good. And then we talked about her past, about exes and stuff, and her current living situation, how she's living with her old ex right now. And I don't know why, I genuinely do not understand at all why. But yesterday I hit her up and I was I just got accusatory about this whole ex, they were back together, and I do not understand why I did this. And obviously she got super pissed off and defensive, which I totally understand, because it was out of nowhere, just out of left field. And then there was not really an argument, it was just me getting chewed out, because I immediately realized what a fucking moron I was being. And then she blocked me, and then I managed to get back in contact, and I had this really rushed apology. And I was just freaking out and panicking, because it's genuinely one of the best friendships I've had in years, and I could seriously see a future with this girl, because I don't know, we're on the same page about everything, we even talked about it. But yeah, so then this morning I woke up and I wrote a more thorough apology, and I wanted to get to her, but it looks like I'm probably blocked again, and I know how she is, so chances are I don't think I'll ever get back in contact. And I'm just I don't know what to do right now. Do I just let it go? Do I just, it's a really bad situation.
Yeah, that sounds rough. Let me ask you some questions. So
I have a question too.
Yeah, I'm all
You go
ears.
first.
How old are you guys?
23, 22.
Okay. Well, she is very immature sounding.
Well, I'm not going to pass judgment here. I feel like we don't have all the information yet.
No, I just mean if somebody's blocking somebody so quickly without any sort of explanation, I think that's a little immature.
It does seem harsh, the way she's responded. Let me ask you, so you guys are dating? You're together? What is the nature of your relationship?
We're not completely exclusive, but the only thing that's not making it exclusive would be the acknowledgement that we are. But in terms of everything else, we're pretty much exclusive.
So you're hooking up, you're spending time together.
Yeah.
But you're also open to seeing other people.
We never specified whether we should or shouldn't, but I think we were both in agreement that we wouldn't.
Okay.
And she lives with her ex. How long have they been broken up?
Probably because she moved out here in September, so probably since maybe June.
They broke up in June, and she moved in.
No. He lived in where we live, and then she moved out here, and the living situation was that it was either live with her family or live with him. And I guess they had lived together back where they used to live.
Oh, okay.
And she really doesn't like spending, or doesn't like living with her family, so she's okay, I'll just stay with him. That's how I understand it.
That sounds a little weird.
I was gonna say, I feel like
yeah.
you kind of have a right to get upset
now
about that.
now you say you're potentially a self-destructive person, but do you think this is you being self-destructive, or did you legitimately have some suspicions here?
I mean, these thoughts, I mean, these, like, I always have, like, these sort of thoughts, like, okay, like, what's going on, what's happening in all my relationships. Like, I always, like, I feel like I always break things down to way too far, like, looking for the holes when there probably really isn't. But I've never, like, done anything this bad. But I mean, I do have suspicions that sort of have merit, but at the same time, like, I don't know if I just like dismiss them completely because I'm so like freaked out about
Well,
losing
here you
this.
are with the Heartslayers. You can bounce them off us, and we'll give
Yeah.
you an honest opinion about whether those
Okay.
are legitimate suspicions or not. What makes you think she might be hooking up with her ex?
Well, it's not that I don't really care if they hook. I mean, again, we're not like exclusive. I don't care if they hook up, but it just felt like it got to a point where like, okay, I was just being like used to like spend time or like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how to describe this.
You
But
think
I
that
mean,
she's
so
still like emotionally invested with that person?
yeah, with her ex, yeah, and that's. But I didn't word it that way. I worded it just like, oh, so you're back with your ex now, huh? Which is like
Mm,
way, way worse. Yeah.
a little
But
accusatory.
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, like, just like things like, I mean, this is like the killer, which is basically like the lock screen, just like a picture of her and her ex on the lock screen. I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, just like that
Okay.
kind of stuff.
That's
Just like,
weird.
That's a little
yeah,
weird.
yeah.
That's a
It's just
little
like that.
suspect.
Yeah. And then the one thing that like caught my attention, which happened yesterday, I think this like started the whole like my thoughts like spiraling out of control is like when we were talking, like jokingly arguing, then she called me the name of Rex, and I was like, oh wait, what? I was like, oh God.
She called you his name?
Yeah, yeah,
Oof.
Huh.
yeah, yeah.
So
I don't know.
she lives with her ex, even though they already broken up, and she
Yeah.
has another place where she could be living. Her
Yeah,
lock screen on her phone is a picture of her with her ex.
Ugh.
She
right,
accidentally calls you his name.
Yeah, he's
right.
obviously on her mind.
I
Yeah.
think that you have a legitimate claim
Oh,
here
absolutely.
that she's
Okay.
probably not over her ex.
Yeah.
And they only broke up 4 months before you guys started hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
How long were they together? Do you know?
The previous year, so like so it was like June this year or last year, so then it'd be like I think it was like maybe June, July the year previous.
So
So
a
about a
full
year.
year.
Yeah.
That's still a very recent breakup.
Yeah.
After 3 or 4 months, and you move back in with that person,
Yeah.
and then just based on her response to you calling her out,
It's like, oh shit, he caught me.
yeah, it's kind of like
Okay.
it sounds like she's overreacting
Absolutely.
a little bit. Because
Yeah.
if there were no feelings there, if there's nothing going on, I feel like, okay, that's annoying, but
Yeah, she could easily defend herself.
or
but-
laugh it off.
Right.
Just be like, I can't believe you think that. For real? Are you serious? The
Right.
fact that
Yeah,
she got
yeah.
so defensive about it is another red flag.
Absolutely. When
Yeah.
people are lying, they get really defensive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
they do.
that's what scared me because like I called her out and then she's like, it's like, what are you talking about? Like blah blah blah, and then she went on and on and on, and I was just like, in the moment, I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting like, what are you talking about? Let's talk about this. But instead
What
it
did
was
she
like,
go on and on and on about? What was the
Uh,
nature of her defense?
I'll pull up the text right now. I don't even
Oh,
care.
yeah.
2 seconds.
The receipts.
Go to the source material.
Let's get to the good shit, guys. Let's not fuck around. All right, hold up. So I was just like, I just mentioned like, I wish you'd give me a heads up that like you and your boyfriend were like, or your ex were kind of getting back together. And she's like, what's your deal? Like, where'd that come from? And so I just said like, the lock screen, you calling me their name. And then she said, because she told me the past. So she's like, have you not listened to what I said? Honestly, you're being kind of annoying. And then I was like, well, I mean, like, you could just prove it by sending me the lock screen because she said it wasn't them.
Uh-huh.
And then she said, wow, you're fucking annoying, first of all. And then it just went on and on and on
Oh
about,
my
like,
God.
that's not my ex, blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't know shit about my situation. Da, da, da.
She's so defensive.
Yeah.
So your question is, what should you do now?
Yeah, what should I do now? Because, like, obviously last night I was in, like, the panicked, oh, shit, like, I need to get this back together. Or, like, at least, like, keep the friendship afloat. And this morning I woke up and I was like, okay, I'm like calmed down, not all freaked out anymore. Wrote up an apology, but then now I'm just sitting here like, okay, I feel like I don't need to like hop through hoops and loops to like get into contact. If this actually did have legs, I could probably just wait and we'll talk again. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Like, yeah. Or maybe you guys can like give me some advice on like this relationship.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
It sounds to me like she still has feelings for this person on some level. Whether they're getting back together or not, I don't think enough time has passed for her to be completely over that past relationship.
Yeah, because
Right.
honestly, they dated for a year and then there was no time in between her like living with him. And the fact that she's around him in the same living environment, it doesn't really give her time to get over him.
Let me ask you one more
Right.
question, and maybe you
Okay.
don't have the answer, but do you know why they broke up to begin with?
I think it was the move that did it.
Oh my gosh. So
Huh.
they didn't
Yeah.
even have like
Yeah.
So
it
the thing
wasn't
that
like
caused
a-
them to break up is no longer an issue, basically.
Yeah, that's a point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would stay strong and not buckle to apologize and sweep it under the rug and say,
I don't think you have anything to apologize for.
yeah, I don't think
Okay.
that you should force yourself to change the way you feel. I think that you have a legitimate reason to feel threatened by their relationship if you want to pursue something with this girl. It doesn't sound like
Right.
she is being completely honest, maybe even with herself.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
with you. Her response sounds really defensive. And what I would do if I were you, I would give her some space. And I would give her some time to really think about what she wants moving forward.
Absolutely.
You know, because if she
Okay.
wants to be with that person, maybe you should step out of the way and let her
Right,
be with that
right.
person. And if she really wants to be with you, maybe you should give her some time to miss you a little bit and think about how much she really enjoys being with you.
And I do
Okay.
think maybe the way that you had phrased it kind of freaked her out.
It was a little
Yeah.
bit accusatory.
So-
It was. I know. Yeah.
I mean, it happens, you know, emotions flare, whatever.
Yeah.
But
And that stuff can piss you off sometimes.
oh, absolutely.
And,
Yeah.
you know, you kind of jump the gun. There's a better way to say it, but you're like, you know what? And then you just
Yeah,
kind of
no.
let it
Yeah,
fly.
you let it go. And obviously it was something that kind of built up within you and it was bothering you.
Right.
So hopefully she hasn't blocked you. And maybe it is something you guys could talk about in the future once you give her a little bit of space.
Yeah.
Right,
You know,
right.
it's kind of, there's no point in going back in time and figuring out a better way to say it. But if this were to happen again, I think the way to
Right.
approach it would be just honestly like, hey, I get the feeling that you
Yeah.
may still have feelings for your ex.
Yeah.
You guys live
Right.
together and
It's kind of messing with me.
yeah, I just want to know
Yeah.
what's going on in this situation here. And it's kind of, you know, there's no accusation there. It's just you honestly trying to have a conversation with her.
Yeah, just hey, this is how I feel right now, and whether or not it's going on or not, let's talk about it.
But
Right, right.
like I said, what I would do right now if I were you, I would just give her some space. Don't contact her. Let her come to you.
Yeah, let her cool down a little bit.
Let her
Okay,
cool down. You
okay.
can cool down. And when she comes back, it's probably going to be, you know, a little bit snarky, like,
Yeah.
so you don't want to talk to me anymore? Or
Yeah,
so
okay.
why haven't you talked to me?
Yeah, that's how she is.
Totally. Hey, I know people like that too. And
For
when she
sure.
Yeah.
does, if and when she does come back at you like that, that will be the time where you can be the calm and cool, collected dude. And you say, well, you know what? I feel like our conversation was unresolved.
Yeah.
I think that you still have feelings for your boyfriend, so I felt like I should just give you some space and let you figure some things out. And let that
Right,
be the
right.
starting point for a better conversation.
Yeah, you could take
Okay,
this time
okay,
to kind
yeah.
of formulate your thoughts, gather everything, and
Yeah.
just give it a good think.
What you
Right,
don't
so-
want to do is be the sniveling, like, oh, I'm so sorry. Because
No, okay, yeah.
then you start pestering them, you start annoying them. And honestly, it's sad, but girls will kind of see that weakness. And it'll either be a big turnoff to her, or she'll start using it against you.
Yeah.
And you'll get sucked in the situation where she's like, well, you know what? Maybe I am getting back together with my boyfriend.
I was gonna say,
are you
like,
cool with that?
you could drive her back to her boyfriend.
Yeah, and she'll kind of like pigeonhole you into this relationship where you're forced to say like, well, I guess I am cool with it, even though you're really not. And it's really easy to get sucked into a relationship situation that you don't want to be in.
Yeah.
You do not want to be in a love triangle because they suck and they're nightmares. I've been in one. You've been in one.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It
Trust me,
is
Kay.
the worst.
You don't want to be an option. You don't want to be on the back
No, you don't
burner.
want to be plan B.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So don't make yourself available to be plan B. Stay strong. You're plan A, and she's either going with you or she's not.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
Her loss if
Yeah.
she doesn't.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you guys. Really appreciate the advice.
Yeah, we
Totally.
appreciate your call. We hope it all works out for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I guess I'll hit you up next week and let you know.
Yeah, give
Please.
us any updates.
Okay. All right. Have a great one, guys.
Thanks,
too.
you too. Okay, everybody, we're on the phone here with Patrick. Patrick, you're talking to Derrick and Meg, the Heartslayers. What's happening?
All right, so it's a bit of a long setup for my question.
Okay.
So me and my ex-girlfriend, we've been dating long distance ish for about like 3 years.
Okay.
She lives in one city and I go to school in a city that's like about an hour and a half away, but I'm back in the other city for like 4 days out of the week, pretty much.
Her city?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I see her about pretty even split half the time.
Not bad.
Recently, her mom is from Guam, right?
Okay.
And so she usually would take trips back and forth throughout the year for like a month or so. But recently, like 6 months ago, she went to Guam and didn't come back.
Oh.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird situation. No one really knew what to do about that. So
Have you talked to her?
they talk fine, but her mom and dad, I guess, were kind of on the outs.
So her mom, your girlfriend's mom, went to Guam and just stayed there.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
not like
just-
missing. She's just in.
No.
Okay.
There's no milk carton.
Okay.
Good.
headshots or
Good.
whatever, so.
Okay.
But that kind of threw my ex-girlfriend into a bit of an emotional, a bad scenario
Yeah.
Right.
given any circumstances, but let
How
alone
old was your ex-girlfriend when this happened?
about 23.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
So
would suck.
Yeah.
yeah, no, absolute bummer. But that sort of put a big strain on us because I'm already not there for 3 days of the week. So, she said that when we broke up, it was because she wasn't going to be able to get the emotional support that she needed, which I totally get, and I'm fine with that. The thing is, I graduate in 4 months, and I'm going back to Austin for an actual career job whenever I graduate. So normally I know that y'all have talked about something similar to this before, and it's usually not the brightest move to get back together with someone, but I don't know what y'all think, considering the scenario and circumstances around it. Do y'all think it would be possible to get back together, or should it be kind of don't step in the same river twice?
Okay, so when did you guys break up? How long ago was that?
That was December. It was rough too. It was right before Christmas.
Oh man.
So it was about 2 months ago?
Yeah, about there.
And how long had you guys been dating for up until that point?
Well, we knew each other in high school, but we started dating my freshman year, second semester. So it's been 3.5 years.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're graduating college? You're graduating high school, or?
I'm graduating college.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was mostly just the need for emotional support that kind of pushed you guys apart?
Yeah, it's sort of like we'd already had like a couple of patches like 2 years ago where I was like spending the summers in like the college city because I was working on the campus installing stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we'd already had like discussions about how much attention or how much like, you know, availability we thought we needed during like the normal year. So
Right. Do you guys still talk?
yeah,
Fine.
we're still actually, at least on my side at least, we're still like top three if not best friends still. So
Okay.
Do you talk often? Do you talk every week, every day? What's it like?
it's like an every other day type of thing, but
Okay.
yeah, like anytime I'm back in the city, we usually like we meet up and we skate or we, just hang out.
All right, now big question here, and I hope this one doesn't sting too much, but is she seeing
Ah.
anybody else right now?
Oh no, that doesn't sting. I've told her like she has my blessing to do that if she wants, but she said that she doesn't expect to anytime soon.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I get the feeling that she's probably like still into you.
Yeah, I think you should go for it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. You guys were dating for a long time. You haven't been broken up for that long. And I feel like the reason why the relationship ended most recently is a legitimate reason. It's a very legitimate reason, but it's not because of a failure on your part.
No.
It was a distance thing. And,
When that distance is closed, that problem's going to be gone.
yeah, exactly. A child losing their mom like that, it's like very hard, very traumatic. She probably, she says that maybe there wasn't emotional support from you, but the reality of it could be she just didn't have the energy to be a girlfriend at that time.
Totally.
She may have just been so upset that it was hard to just maintain all relationships. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, that's such a strange situation.
Yeah, I'm sure like family relationships and friendships suffered as well, and it was all very stressful. And so perhaps she was trying to, lighten her burden.
Yeah.
Any way she could.
Especially because sometimes if you're feeling like you need emotional support, you might feel like you're also not giving it.
Yeah.
So that could also be a problem.
So I think if you guys are still communicating, you're still close, and she still has feelings for you, which I think she might.
Oh yeah.
I don't see any reason why you guys shouldn't give it another go once you move into her town, because like I said, it doesn't sound like the relationship failed because of anything you
that-
did.
yeah.
Like, it wasn't like you cheated on her or you really wronged her.
Right.
It was just life kind of happened and things got too stressful.
Yeah, because it's not too out of the ordinary for people to come back together at a certain point when situations change.
Yeah, especially a situation like this.
Exactly.
Like if the problem really was emotional support, that is something that you moving into her town, that could fix that.
Yeah.
So the Heartslayers give you our blessing. You should definitely,
Oh.
don't move too fast. When you go back, I will say this.
Yeah.
Don't expect her to jump all over you just because you move into her town.
Right.
And don't expect the relationship to just pick up as if nothing had happened.
Right.
Take it slow, spend time together, nurture that friendship.
And then float the idea out there.
Yeah, if there was a lack of emotional support, in a way, I'm not saying like trust has been broken, but it's similar to trust being broken, and that needs to be rebuilt. You can't just like snap your fingers and say, I'm here to support you emotionally. That's something that has to kind of come organically, and it's going to take some time.
And even now, while you're still waiting to graduate, I'd still check in and just see how she's doing and kind of you're keeping up that rapport with her.
Yeah, show her that you can give her some light emotional support from a distance, and she'll get really excited at the idea of you moving close to her.
Oh yeah, hype up the idea too of moving back.
For sure. Yeah. Like, I mean, in my mind at least, I think we had such like frequent amounts of like supporting each other that like we still are like almost every other day we're like, how are you doing? How's your mental state? So
It's good that you guys seem to already have that communication, because that can be a really rare thing to find.
Yeah, I think you guys have a foundation here for a good relationship. So just take it slow, ride it out, and see what happens.
Awesome. Thanks for the green light, y'all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call, Patrick. Good luck. All right, everybody, we're going to read an email now. This comes from a viewer, female, who goes by the letter A, and it says, "Hi, Meg and Derrick.
Hello.
Hello. I was wondering at what point in your experience you would determine that you have romantic feelings for someone. A lot of times people describe things like, my mind keeps going to them, or they're the person I'm most excited to talk to at the end of the day. But I feel like those are all things I've felt about cool new friends I've made that I'm just really excited to hang out with and to get to know more. I feel there's a lot of overlap with the concept of a best friend. And it can't just be the physical attraction, as many couples develop physical attraction to each other later on in a relationship. Is it a bit of both? I was curious if you had any thoughts on this. It's maybe a dumb or obvious question. I've personally never felt attraction to anyone or felt the desire to start a relationship. But even as a bit of an outlier, I love listening to your podcast. Thanks, A."
Well, thanks, A.
Thanks for the email. So, when do you know you have romantic feelings for somebody as opposed to just being best friends with them?
Well, they're right in saying that there's a lot of overlap, for sure. Because I feel like my best relationships, my partner is my best friend. So
Yeah.
but
well, did
obviously
you feel...
we didn't start off as best friends.
That's what I was
though.
going to
That's
ask.
the
Did you
thing.
start as best friends? Because for me, when I'm dating somebody and they are like my favorite person, they are my best friend, usually it did start with an attraction.
Yeah, it
for
started
me.
with a crush.
Yeah, I thought the person was cute. I thought the person was hot. I wanted to, get to know them. And
the more you get to know them, the more the friendship develops, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh God, I love my best friend.
Yeah. Man, I have like coughing over here. Sorry, everybody. For me, I think that the feeling of love or the feeling of romance is kind of a feeling of dependability. Like as you spend more time with somebody that you're getting to know and you're dating them, they're kind of hitting all the right check marks in all the boxes. Of like, okay, I like this person. They're cute. We have stuff in common. We get along. We don't fight. They are my best friend. And suddenly you start realizing, wow, this person, there's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah.
Or, everybody has stuff that's wrong with them.
Right.
But it's all this minor stuff. And you start really looking forward to... you get excited about the potential for the relationship to last a long time.
Yeah.
And I think when you start having those feelings, those are romantic feelings.
Like when you start looking towards the future.
Yeah. And it's not even necessarily like, oh my God, I'm going to marry this
No,
person.
no.
But it's just like, wow, this relationship has been going good for so long, and I don't see it not going good for a long time moving forward, and I'm really happy about that.
But how do you distinguish those type of feelings between a friend and maybe somebody that...
Well, I think when you're having sex with and or kissing your best friend all day, every day.
That's definitely...
You've transcended the friendship and you're in a relationship.
For sure.
I think that, when you're dating somebody, what am I trying to say here? When I first start dating somebody, I don't assume that it's going to work out.
Right.
And I don't assume that they're going to be perfect. I just take it for what it is. I take it on a day-by-day basis.
Totally.
It's like, I have a crush on you, you're cool, and we're getting to know each other.
Yeah, and they become more and more attractive as you get to know them.
Yeah. Or the opposite.
Well, yeah.
You get to know them and you realize I don't want to be with this person.
No.
Here's some red flags here. And
Totally.
then you start trying to figure out a way to exit the situation.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of two sides of the same spectrum. The feeling of being repulsed by somebody is on the same spectrum of having romantic feelings for them.
Yeah.
You're either figuring out this is not going to work and I have a feeling that I don't want to be with this person. Or it's, wow, this is going to work and I have a feeling that I do want to be with this person. And that, in my expert opinion, is that romantic feeling.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I've had friends that I'll get excited to talk to, but it's on a different level, I think,
Yeah.
than a prospective partner.
I've had friends that were girls that I had a crush on.
Yeah.
But the relationship never turned into a romantic thing. Like,
Yeah.
never made a move, never felt like there was a right time, never could, never felt like they were attracted back to me in that way.
That's a really good point. Like, if there's some sort of mutual attraction there,
Yeah.
that's obviously very important for a relationship. Who knew?
Yeah. And so I did have best friends and I did look forward to seeing them and I was crushing on them and I was like, oh my God, they're so great. But it wasn't reciprocated.
Right.
And so it wasn't romantic,
Yes.
because it wasn't like it was kind of, in a way, it was a little bit sad. It was a little bit bittersweet, a little bit depressing. But it was nothing that they were doing. It was just that I had a crush on them.
It's just a bummer that, because everybody wants to be liked.
Yeah, and that is not a romantic feeling. That
No.
like little bit of pain of like, oh man, I like them, but I don't think they like me back. That's not romantic.
No.
It's when you like them and they do like you back and you think like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's
it makes
great.
you feel good.
Yeah, it's when the relationship, when thinking about the relationship really makes you feel good. Then you're starting to get into the romance sector.
Yeah.
Anything else to add to that?
I think we covered it.
All right. Thanks for the email, A. Hope we set you straight. Good luck. Okay, everybody. We have another email here, and this email is an update from a previous caller. You may remember JC. He had a girlfriend that his parents didn't approve of. If I remember correctly, his parents didn't even speak English, and they were very religious.
I do think they did speak English.
They did?
But I think they were really religious and they couldn't give him a reason why they didn't like his girlfriend.
Or maybe I'm mixing him up with another caller, but they were very religious and they would not give a reason why they didn't like his girlfriend. Here's the update. Oh, and by the way, the advice we gave was to try to get them together for a lunch, just so they could hang out and get to know each other. Hello, Heartslayers. This is JC. For those who don't remember, I'm the person whose parents aren't accepting of my girlfriend. I know it's been some time since I called, but I finally have an update for y'all.
Hell yeah.
A couple days or so after I called in, I had taken the Heartslayers' advice and asked my parents if they were open to dinner with me and my girlfriend.
Okay.
All I got was a simple no.
Oh my God.
I'd asked why they disliked her so much, and I still got the same lame answer of mother's intuition.
That's not a reason.
Mother's intuition.
No.
I pressed further, saying that answer is unfair, but my mother started to get even more upset with me, so I left before a full-blown argument erupted. Before going to them again, I talked with my brother, who shared a similar experience with our parents and his relationship. He said that I should talk with our father one-on-one in a way where our mother couldn't eavesdrop or be present.
Oh, boy.
After all, my father is much more understanding and much less stubborn than my mom. I called to ask when he was available to go on a little father-son drive so that we could just talk. He was open to it, and a lot of good came out of it. I was curious as to what my father thought, since he really just lets my mother do the talking. He's a Jehovah's Witness, so I expected him to say he had a problem with my girlfriend having too many piercings or having a tattoo. But instead, he threw what the real problem was with my mother out there. And he also... Wait, did I read that right? Sorry. Sorry, everybody. But instead, he threw me a huge curveball.
Oh.
He thought I was rushing to get her pregnant.
Sorry?
I was really stunned by what he told me. My girlfriend and I don't even want children. After telling him that, he was relieved, and he admitted that he can't do anything about who I decide to have a relationship with. I also asked him if he knew what the real problem was with my mother, and he also told me something astonishing. My mother believes that I'm stopping school to be with my girlfriend. I don't know how she came to that conclusion, and I was a little upset that she just wouldn't tell me. I don't see how getting a girlfriend means I have to drop out of school. I decided to wait before asking about any more dinners or anything. I figured that once the semester started again, my mother would be pleased to know that I'm still going to school. I'm about a month into the current semester, and my mom seems to be happy with me lately and has stopped making passive-aggressive statements. Nice.
Okay.
Progress. Passive aggressive statements about me going out with my girlfriend. I still sense that she is a little bit bitter, though. A family member's birthday party is coming up, and they invited me to the party. Should I take my girlfriend? Thank you, JC.
That is so. They came up with the wildest assumptions.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say, I feel like good on you, JC, for getting to the bottom of this situation.
Absolutely.
And talking with your brother, and then talking with your dad, and even attempting to talk with your mom.
Right.
Should you bring your girlfriend to the family party? I'm going to say no.
That's what I was thinking.
I'm going to say no because it sounds like your parents are being a little bit unreasonable.
A little.
In this situation, and I would not even F with that.
Yeah.
I think if you bring her to the party, they're going to go a little crazy on your girlfriend.
Right.
And they might even try to sabotage your relationship.
Yeah.
They might say things to her that make her not want to be a part of this family.
Yeah. And your mom is making less passive aggressive statements. So let's continue down that road.
Yeah.
And not give her a reason to make any more comments.
It sounds like they have all of these wild, weird fears about you and what this relationship is going to cause to happen to you. And it doesn't seem like they're grounded in reality.
Because if I remember right, I feel like his girlfriend is older than he is.
Okay.
But I still don't understand why that would affect going to school or trying to get her pregnant.
Yeah, I don't know. What I would say is just enjoy your relationship and let your family realize that the relationship makes you happy and it's not ruining your life.
Yeah.
And if the relationship goes on for long enough, they're not going to have any reason to fight it or resent it.
Exactly. Because the longer you go and continue to be happy, they're just going to give up.
Yeah. But it sounds like if you put your girlfriend in a room with your parents, especially your mom.
Yeah.
Your mom is going to try to
tear
torpedo
her to shreds.
Yeah, that relationship. I would not allow that to happen.
No.
You know what? Sometimes when two people don't get along and they're both important to you, you just have to keep them apart.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times the mother-in-law and you're not married, but I think historically in marriages, it's a big joke. Like the mother-in-law and the wife, they butt heads.
Yeah.
Or the mother-in-law and the son's girl, they are competing for his affection.
Oh,
and there's some friction there.
Because
So.
the mom sees it as like, oh, you're taking my son away from me.
Yeah,
and
like you're not good enough for my son. You're nothing like me.
Yeah, it's a really weird dynamic.
Yeah, so I would just keep them apart and enjoy your time with them separately until one of them expresses that they want to meet the other one.
Yeah, the dynamic is going to shift eventually to where they're going to have to be together.
Yeah, but right now you're trying to make it happen and all this pressure is on you to kind of patch up this relationship. Don't force it. Let them bring that to you.
Yeah, they'll come together eventually.
Yes. Thank you for the update. We appreciate it.
Good luck in the future.
All right, everybody, we're on the phone here with C. C, you actually called us previously and have an update for us. You're talking to Derrick and Meg, the Heartslayers. What's happening?
So yeah, I had written in a letter at the end of season 1. So I was about having doubts with my girlfriend, even though we had been moving in with each other and we're living with each other for a while now. We were going on a big trip and I was getting all nervous, and just because she didn't want to get married and have kids and I wanted to do all that, and just all sorts of fun stuff.
Okay, right. And our advice was that you guys should maybe not be together.
Yeah, I think that was the initial thing, that both of our trajectories were just different directions. So
Totally. Well, you want to have kids and she doesn't. So
That's a huge.
I could see why we would suggest that. But how are things going now?
It's weird because I enjoy the relationship a lot. I care about this person a lot, but thinking about the future just gives me anxiety a lot of the time still. Because she has agreed, we talked for a while about the kids thing, and she kind of agreed to do it if we adopt, But,
Okay.
But still, no marriage is off the table.
Wait a second. She wants to raise a child with you, but she doesn't want to marry you?
Yeah,
Has
I
she given
thought
you a
sounded
reason?
weird, but she just is all against it because her parents are kind of really strict, crazy religious people. She hates all that, like, family nonsense because a lot of her
So
parents
she
did not
doesn't like
her.
the idea of marriage because it reminds her of like the strict religious upbringing she had. It's too traditional or something like that.
Yeah, it feels like that sort of thing. It's just, her parents were both college kids, have like their dumpster diving shit, but then they got married and got like super religious and like were pretty not cool to them as kids.
Okay. So how do you feel about that?
Well, it's like something I understand it, but I would want to do it just because I don't even know why I want to do it, to be honest. This is part of the hard part to explain. But I just know
Right.
that I want to get married, even though me and my mom don't get along all the time. I just would like to have that whole little party thing where I get to do all that. Not even like
Well,
a super.
There's benefits to being married.
Yeah, taxes.
You guys save money on your taxes. If one of you's put into the hospital, she's not gonna be able to visit you unless
Yeah, there's a ton of
Unless you're
stuff
married.
like getting on somebody's insurance.
Yeah,
Like, weird adult stuff that comes with being married, but also I think it's such like a societal thing that it's like, oh, you're not married.
well, that to me is like the least of
Well-
concerns. I just think like for personal reasons.
Yeah. It makes more sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's no rush to get married, but to say like I'm never gonna marry you is kind of weird. And to agree, I think raising a child is a bigger commitment
Yeah.
than being married because
Totally.
you can divorce somebody and get out of a marriage, but you
A
can't
kid
just
is forever.
yeah, you can't just like not have that kid anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I thought it was weird too, but I was talking with my friend about this the other day, and he said that he didn't want to get married, but he wanted kids. And it was like, act like it was a totally normal thing. And I was like, what?
Well, why do these people not want to get married? Is it because they don't want to settle down with just one person?
I don't think that's from the same thing for my girlfriend, and I don't think it's from my friend either. It's just, I think with my friend, he doesn't want to get married because he's kind of like, he wants to be able to travel and do all these other things, which is weird because he wants kids. And it's
yeah,
all
again,
confusing.
a kid is going to make that harder than a marriage.
Oh, absolutely. Like, you get a certificate and a ring with marriage, whereas a child is like, you get crippling debt and a human being to look after.
Yeah, and then you got to like take him to daycare and then school.
It's so much
and-
respect. You give up your whole life for your kid.
Yeah, it sounds like
So-
your friend and your girlfriend have it flopped about what is the
backwards.
bigger commitment here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like the main reason I've been having doubts is just like, even like the living situation we both want, because I kind of want to get my roots in like a nice property as soon as I can. But she wants to like live in different countries for different years, like, all sorts of stuff like that. And I'm like more of a put my roots down, have a place, maybe travel here and there as a person.
All right, so see, I hate to say this, but I am sticking to my previous diagnosis of this relationship. I don't think you guys are right for each other.
You're so fundamentally different in every way.
What works about this relationship?
What?
Well,
all the good times are good. It's that classic sort of thing. The good times are good, but the bad times are just rough. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys have arguments over this, or do you like fight about it?
Here and there, but like she's very unconfrontational, so it's hard to talk with her about things without her feeling like she's not good enough for me, and it's not that we're just not going the same direction.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
How does she feel about common law marriage, where when you've been living with somebody for like 7 years, you like basically are automatically married? Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
She
Okay.
looked at I don't think it's a thing in my county, so
I think it's kind of like an unwritten thing. You're not married, but I think you're recognized as being married.
Yeah, like if one of you dies, like
Yeah.
the person gets a certain amount of inheritance
Uh-huh.
and stuff like that.
It's like the state treats her as your wife, even though she's technically not.
I don't know. You know what? See, I would ask her point blank, like, do you want to be with me in the future or not?
Yeah.
You know, if you asked her that, what do you think the answer would be?
I think she'd say yes, because like she always talks me up and talks about how great I am, and always wants to spend time with me.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm worried about talking about this stuff too, because what if she's just saying things to stay together with me? It's a little bit of my own paranoia.
Right.
Well, it's interesting because like if she wants to stay together with you, but she doesn't want to marry you, I wonder what her plan is.
Yeah.
Obviously you want her to kind of bend to your will and see things your way and settle down and get married. But maybe she is expecting you to bend to her way and go travel the world and not get married. Are you willing to do that?
I mean, to be honest, I'm still pretty young, and I don't 100% understand why I want to get married. Like besides taxes, parties, all the gushy stuff. But I don't really want to just travel and live in different places like that. I like traveling, but I like having a home,
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Let's say that she marries you. She agrees to marry you, and you guys buy a home, and she never gets to travel the world. And it's something she regrets for the rest of her life. Are you going to be okay with that?
Not at all, to be honest.
See, the problem is things are good now, but looking towards the future, you both split in different paths.
Yeah.
And one of you isn't going to be happy. And that's bad.
Yeah, and I think it in just the same way, like if she married you and never got to travel the world and she regretted it, you wouldn't be happy.
Or if you never got married
Yeah,
and
if
you were
she
stuck in
never
another
marries
country.
you and never has kids with you and takes you to go live in France for a few years and you're miserable, I don't think she's going to be happy with that situation either.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I'm not saying break up right now.
No, I think it's just conversations that you guys need to have looking forward.
Yeah, but I think that eventually it is going to get to a point where you guys have a major blow up.
Totally.
You have a major falling out over this because as Meg said, you guys are fundamentally on different paths. Mm-hmm. It's like you are on two separate trains that are riding right next to each other, and you guys are like talking between the window. Mm-hmm. But down the road, these train tracks are going to go in separate directions.
Yeah.
And neither of you is willing to jump on the other person's train.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And obviously you guys can still be friends, but I just don't think it's conducive for a healthy relationship.
Yeah, I think this is like too fundamental. Like you're either planning on getting married to somebody, and not now, but like eventually you're open to it, or you're not.
It's a future that you want, and hers doesn't coincide with that, and so it's not fair to either one of you.
Yeah.
What if? Okay, but hold on. I'm gonna flip the script here. Okay. What if you guys do both? You promise her we're going to travel the world, we're going to live in different countries, but we're going to do it as a married couple. Is that a compromise that you could see working out?
I think it'd be reasonably acceptable, but then the question again would come back to what happens with kids, When do we stop traveling? Is she going to be okay when we stop traveling?
Well, she already said she's willing to have adopt a kid with you. Yeah. Are you down to adopt a child, or do you want to have your own child?
And there's another wrinkle. Yep, I would prefer to have my own children. I don't hate the idea of adopting. I'm not 100% against it, but I would like to have my genetic child.
Yeah.
Does she not want to have a child because it's going to like mess with her body too much? Or she just doesn't want to go through that? Has she said?
It's not like superficial though, like all the hormonal mess and all that.
Right. A pregnancy is fucking scary.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be superficial. Like when you have a baby, it like changes your physiology.
Like postpartum depression and like all kinds of stuff.
You're not the same person from what I've never had. I've never given birth myself, but From what I understand, it is like you're a whole new person after that
Yeah,
happens.
you like evolve or
Yeah,
some
like
devolve. Who knows?
you physically change.
Yeah.
So I could see like you want to adopt because you like who you are and you don't want to
Right.
physically change.
That's true.
But yeah, I don't know. You're not really down for adoption. She's not really down to have a live birth.
Yeah, it's just again two separate paths, and
Okay, so I think if you guys are going to stay together, there's going to be a significant amount of compromise.
Yeah.
You probably are going to have to travel the world. You probably are going to have to adopt if you want to have a child. And then maybe she will agree to marry you. How does that, I mean, does that sound like something that is acceptable to you? See?
It doesn't sound horrible, but how long would I be happy doing?
That's
I'm
the
always
question.
thinking what
'Cause
happens further down the road and further down the road and further.
the way that I see it, and I'm usually not the one that says this, it's usually you.
Okay. You make me sound like a bad
No,
guy.
you are not a bad guy. There are plenty of people that share your same wants and needs. So I don't want you to sell yourself short and have to completely compromise when you can easily find somebody who wants the same thing that you want.
Totally. Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I'm sure there's a girl out there who is just as wonderful as your current girlfriend in all the same ways. The only difference is she wants to get married and have kids.
Yeah.
And she's like on the same page as you. And this is something I always have to remind people too. Sometimes love is not enough for a relationship to work. And I always quote the Tina Turner song, "What's love got to do with it?" Because Tina Turner knew the truth. Sometimes you're in love with somebody, but it's still a bad relationship.
Yeah.
And you love them despite so many problems that are ruining the relationship. And you stay in a bad relationship because you love them. And at a certain point, you just have to realize, like, I love you, but this isn't going to work out.
Yeah, this isn't working out for me. And then I'm just afraid that you guys would reach some sort of breaking point. And you already know what your issues currently are. So I think that it's easily avoidable.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes, this is going to be maybe a bad analogy, but sometimes love is like a drug. It's like a drug addiction.
It is.
And it's like, I'm addicted to this love, but it is messing my life up. Like, it's effing with me emotionally, and I don't think it's healthy.
No.
But I can't quit because I just am so in love, and I love the feeling of being in love. And I don't want to go through the pain of losing you and being alone and starting over with somebody else.
That's what's so scary, because you get comfortable in a relationship, and even in your situation, your futures kind of don't align.
Yeah.
But you're comfortable currently, and the thought of having to restart and find somebody else is scary.
Yeah, but the hard work is worth it, because when you find a relationship that just clicks, it is so much better. I mean,
you forget about all of the pain.
Yeah,
and
it's totally worth everything you went through to get there. So what do you think about that, C? What's your response to that?
I think it's at least worthy having the conversation for sure. Like, just sit down and talk real frankly about it instead of,
How long have you guys been together, if you don't mind me asking?
I believe we're going on 2.5-ish now. Yeah.
2.5? Okay, that's a pretty long-lasting relationship.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to say maybe like consider.
You never, because I mean, in my own personal experience, in my early 20s, I was so hard against having kids. Like, I did not want kids. And now I'm like, I don't think I'd hate it. I don't know. People change as they grow. So you never know. She might change her mind.
Yeah, she might change her mind as she gets older. But I think that wanting to travel the world and live in other countries is a thing that she's not going to change her mind about that.
No.
I think she's always going to have a desire to do that.
Oh, yeah.
It's more than just the kids thing. It's the kids thing. It's the marriage thing. It's the travel thing.
It's so many things.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot stacked up here. Why don't you guys already went to Hawaii? Maybe try a trip to another part of the world together. But I would Man, I hate to say this to you because it's just
I
a tough
know.
situation, but
Like, I just honestly, I wouldn't prolong it because
Yeah.
I feel like the longer that you wait on this, the harder it's going to be when you finally decide, like, oh, this isn't what I want.
yeah, and if ultimately this relationship is not going to work out, it's going to be even worse if you've been together for 5 or 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
The more time you are together, the worse it's going to be if you do eventually break up. So if there isn't a future there, you know, might want to just rip the Band-Aid off sooner
Yeah.
rather than later.
Yeah. So that's just be frank about it and just be like, hey, we need to talk about the future and such. Like, actually.
I don't see a problem with that.
I think that you should have a conversation about compromises.
Okay.
I think you should tell her, like, you know what? I've been thinking a lot about the marriage and kids thing and how you want to travel the world. And what I'm wondering is if we could meet halfway here. Can we travel the world together and have all these wonderful experiences and potentially marry each other? Because it's really important to me.
Yeah. I would definitely bring up how important it is to you because maybe she just doesn't understand that. And again, it's just not fair to either one of you. And I think that that's something you should bring up because maybe she just doesn't realize that right now.
Yeah. That's our advice to you, C.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I don't know. I really don't know what else to tell
I
you, but I would
don't.
love for you to call us back if you have this conversation and give us an update on how it all worked out.
Please.
Yeah.
You're not going to have this conversation, are you?
I'm going to do my best.
Well, don't
I'm-
rush into the conversation either. I would definitely kind of plan that one out.
Don't rush it. You know what? Don't
I'm going to work up a nerve a bit.
Yeah,
put
absolutely.
the conversation off. Try to plan a trip to, Bali or, Sweden
Yeah,
or someplace
hey.
exotic. Just get the world traveling out of the way and then bring up the conversation. Be like, all right, we did a little bit of world traveling. Now it's time to talk marriage. You know what I mean? A little bit of give and take here is what this relationship needs if it's going to survive.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
right.
we really do appreciate the call, C, and good luck, man.
Good luck.
Okay, everybody, we're back here on the phone with Anu. Anu called us last week. A girl had given him her number at the sandwich shop, and I told a very personal story about how it reminded me of the Macy's girl, and I gave him some advice on how to proceed. Anu, thanks for calling us back. Give everybody a quick update on the situation, and let's hear how it all worked out.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so Derrick, I followed your advice more or less, mostly the note about like calling. Like you said, you're very good at just talking on the phone to people when you call them up. So I wanted to try that because this girl, I was like trying to text her, but she wouldn't respond. It would take a really long time to respond. And I just couldn't pick up a vibe from her, you know?
Yeah.
Basically, this has all kind of died out at this point because she would always, I don't know, be pretty curt on the phone. And she'd say like, oh, I'm at work or I'm busy right now. I'll text you later. And then she wouldn't text. And the bits of information I got, she seemed like she was young. So the impression I get of the situation is just that she's like a freshman in college. I'm a couple years older than that. And it seemed like she didn't even really expect me to follow up on the note. She seemed pretty surprised by that. And so I called her, I don't know, 2 or 3 times trying to figure out what was going on with this girl. And just doesn't seem like there's anything there. That's it.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's a bummer, but you win some, you lose
Hey,
some.
like I said last week, you didn't know her, so it's not like you had anything to lose.
Yeah.
So
Right.
You never
I
know
just
what
wanted
could
to
have
give
happened.
Closure to the listeners. Right.
Well, I'm sure the listeners appreciate it. Here's what I'm going to suggest. Wait, are you interested in pursuing this at all anymore, or are you over it?
I am very over it.
Oh, okay. Well, then
Fair.
never mind then. I was going to say give her like a week or two.
Yeah.
And then text her and be like, yo, let's go to a coffee shop. But
Eh.
if you're over it,
And
good
if
for
she's
you.
like super young, like you don't know what she's doing.
Yeah, just move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's just experimenting with giving her numbers to random strangers.
Hey, I wonder what's gonna happen. Let me
Yeah.
try
That
writing
is
this in a
actually the
bathroom
impression
stall.
I got.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, short and sweet
That's
call.
all
I
I
appreciate
got.
the update, Anu. I'm sorry it didn't work out, but you know what?
Yeah,
Same
it's
thing
no
happened to me,
worries.
man. She made me think she wanted to go on a date. Went out on a date. She brought a friend along. I was like, "What's going on here?" And
Man, girls
I'm
are
not
the
concerned.
worst.
I got a different date lined up this Thursday. So
Oh,
nice.
fine.
Where are you going?
We haven't decided.
Okay.
go to the sandwich shop.
Yeah,
Oh,
take her to the
God.
sandwich. No,
Yeah.
don't do that.
I'm kidding.
That's awkward. Well, good luck with your
I mean, that's the other
with your upcoming
question.
date.
I don't know if I can go back to the sandwich shop now. It would probably be kind of awkward.
You know what? Just act like it never happened. Go to the sandwich
Yeah.
shop. Pretend you don't recognize her.
Totally.
Yeah. Just buy the sandwich and be like, "Thanks, madame." Don't say madame. That's
Thanks,
nerdy.
lady.
Yeah. Thanks, person I never met before.
Oh,
Call her
God.
by like a name that's kind of close to her real name.
Yeah. Nah, you can go back to the sandwich shop. Just be cool. You can laugh about it. Maybe if you
Right.
go back
I'll
to the
give it
sandwich
a
shop,
couple
she'll like
weeks,
start
maybe.
calling you again.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then
maybe,
you could snub
maybe.
her.
Yeah.
A little payback.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you, Heartslayers.
Thank you,
Thank
Anu.
you.
See you around. Bye-bye. Okay, everybody, that concludes our episode for today. We want to thank everybody for calling in and sending in their emails. Hey, if you want to see these episodes 2 weeks early, check out patreon.com/mega64. For just $1, you get early access to all the Heartslayers episodes. We want to thank everybody who watches and supports us, and also everybody who leaves a comment on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I've been reading the comments. It's been getting even more engaging as time goes on.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. If you want to follow Heartslayers on social media, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Heartslayers. You can follow me on Twitter at Gustavo and on Instagram at Derrick Acosta only.
And I'm at Furnace Woods on Twitter and Instagram.
That's right. And if you want to call us up, we are taking calls every Monday at 4 p.m. Pacific time on the Heartslayers Discord, bit.ly/Heartslayers, or you can email heartslayers@mega64.com.
Yep.
Until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.